Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors, Franklin County, all the council members, Town of Rocky Mount, and B.W. Wright and Mr. Wagner, everybody just to put this together. This is an awesome memorial. They ordered up some nice weather for us. It's awesome, too. And again, I appreciate your words, sir, and your service, and every veteran out there. A little bit about myself. I'm a Henry County native, just south in Ridgeway. We'll talk more about how I got my start and why I do what I do now and why I think veterans do make a difference, as we've already heard today. Went to Virginia Tech, go Hokies. A little short Florida State the other night, but hey, played a good game. Went on in the Air Force in 1988 into the Air Warning and Control Squadron, big AWACS, and also the Air Control Squadron on the ground units. Flew 26, went 26 times to the Middle East and other areas of combat. Got a little over 10,000 hours in any kind of aircraft, about 3,200 hours in military, and about 695 hours in combat time. 5 air medals, Desert Storm, Iraqi Freedom. What does all that mean? It means the same thing he said. We didn't think about it when we did it. We did it because we were doing it for our families and Americans, and it is tough to lose friends in combat, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the veterans who are with us today. So again, if you're a veteran, we'll do this up front. Please stand up and be recognized, please. Thank you so much. Went on from there. I got a Navy exchange tour. That was awesome. Flew 5 years in the Navy. I was very fortunate to teach and instruct at Top Gun, and nothing like flying off a ship or landing on a ship. But again, we're here to honor the veterans, and these men and women is why we're here today, and it's why our country is free, because we know freedom is not free. And today we want to talk about the sacrifice and service, past, present, and future. One of my great American heroes, Charles Santrock, he cannot be here today. When I got into Franklin County in 2008, he called me up directly, and I said, you know, I had no idea. You know, I was operational, and here I am. I'm in a high school with a bunch of teenagers, and I'm like, woo. So Mr. Santrock called me up, and he actually helped me a lot. And I found out we had a lot in common. You know, he was an educator as well. He put his heart and soul into helping kids and future in our service of our nation. And again, I wanted to mention him, and he is a great American. He's with us in spirit today, so thank you, Peggy, for being here. So again, give it up for Charles Santrock. Also, I wanted to, you know, probably noticed the Air Force Junior ROTC cadets, part of our color guard drill team that came up and did, they presented the colors. Doing a very good job. Last year, they got second in the state of Virginia out of 33 schools. That far off, okay? However, this year, I don't know if you know my partner, Sergeant Bacella, but you know, we got here at the same time in 2008, and we built the program, and he is hair challenged, but he doesn't let that bother him. But I'm hoping, I told the drill team, if they win the state championship this year, that they could shave my head. And so hopefully you'll see me sometime in end of April with no hair. So, but anyway, so they do a real good job. Also, mentioning again back to Mr. Santrock, our marksmanship team this year, or last year, did excellent. They were 16th in the nation out of about 3,000 teams. And Charles's grandson is a sophomore on the team, and this 2 weeks ago he surpassed, and he is now the #1 shooter in the Air Force after 2 years. So. That's awesome, and so I know he had his goal. He tells me it hadn't changed last week, so you know how teenagers are, but he wants to go to the Air Force Academy and be on the marksmanship team. He's also ranked 28th in the nation, and this 2 weeks ago we beat the #4 team in the Air Force in the nation, and we're currently should be ranked higher than them. So this year we start in February, going to all Olympic ranges, and I hope I can tell you we'll probably hopefully take home the national championship, which will be the first time for Air Force guys. So that's good news. As far as all the other cadets, we have about 186 cadets, about 64 waiting to get in, and we just received the award this year. Thanks to the support of Dr. Church and our principal, Ms. Decker, we received the award this year of the top 5% high schools in the nation, the outstanding unit with merit. So a lot of good things going on over there, and really proud of these guys right here in Air Force Junior ROTC. So how does veterans and Air Force ROTC cadets have in common? Again, talk about past, present, and future. I want to be on and off target here in 8.5 minutes, and it's a nice day. I understand it's not 20 degrees, but still, my main thing, and they hear it all the time, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about what you do. So first of all, sacrifice. I think Mr. Santrock, all the veterans out there, the ROTC cadets that we're teaching and instilling in for our future leaders, is service before self. That's one of the Air Force core values. It's not about you and how you affect the service of the community and service of the nation. Many people will never understand this because you've never been in the military or you haven't been out of the country. And a lot of times as we've traveled, people don't see things the same way we do as Americans because they're not free. So be thankful that you're able to have a ceremony like this in a country like we live in, because it's not a bad thing, because that's what we do. We serve and defend and protect you. But again, freedom is not free, and the desire there is to help the country. The first item that I would bring up, 3 main points, is the investment. These people and servicemen and women, they invest long hours in committing to be a good leader or to serve the country. They think about others before themselves, and that's the big deal. They are our future. Often we don't know. Fellow retired colonels. In fact, I just had a friend. Like he said, the friends that you fly with in combat. He retired a couple years ago, worked for a contractor, but he's a Florida State graduate. So guess what? He flew in the other night, and we went to the Florida State game together. And it's just a brotherhood, as it was stated earlier, that you just can't live without. So I've been very fortunate, and I'm hoping, and this is why, a lot of people ask me, my friend asked me, he met a lot of our cadets, and he says, my call sign is Odie. He says, Odie, why do you do this? This is insane. It's chaotic here at the high school. It's crazy. He goes, why do you do this? And I said, well, it was chaotic what we did overseas too. And I said, I do it because, I had Colonel Atkins, who was my cross-country coach at my high school a long time ago, who, if it wasn't for his help and help of others, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So that's why I coach cross-country. That's why I serve these kids to make them better citizens for the future, because that is our future, And so speaking to them all the time, one of the lessons I teach them is, history is who we are, so what we make up, and you either going to make history or you're going to be history. It's kind of a little punny that I use with them, so trying to get them to make some history. Secondly, we all don't know what we don't know, especially teenagers or us. We don't know. If you just said back in the day or any time that we'd ever drop a nuclear bomb, all that'll never happen. 9/11, all that'll never happen. So what is the next that'll never happen? We don't know what that is, but we definitely know that we have great Americans and veterans and future leaders who's going to take care of that. Talk about investments, talk about the future. So that was my third point, the action it takes to do that. But as some of you may know, Lincoln, the movie comes out next weekend, the 16th of November. If you didn't, you just found that out. And I've heard great reviews. It's a great movie. It's primarily about the War of 1862, but about Lincoln. Now, Lincoln, the time in this movie, of course, is based on the 150th anniversary of our emancipation and the leadership there, because that was quite the challenge in the day. And so he's one of my favorite leaders. And then a book that I'm always talking about there is by Donald Phillips called Lincoln on Leadership. So a couple of quick quotes I want to leave you with. Seize the initiative and never relinquish it. So if you have an opportunity to do something to serve the community, to help the community, to go out and help veterans and help future young men and women be veterans, then seize that initiative or whatever it may be. The second quote that I like from Lincoln is, leave nothing for tomorrow that can't be done today. We have a lot of that now. Just do what you need to do today and don't put it off to tomorrow. So veterans and future veterans, I'd like for you to go out and continue to serve. It was a real honor to speak to you today. And for everyone who's not a veteran, please, I challenge you today, go out and thank a veteran for their service and ask them, about some of their experiences. Because as you know, you can get a lot of good stories, and as well, Mr. Santrock, he would always tell you great stories. And right now he would tell me, "Oh, Carter, get off the stage. You've been there too long." So thank you very much for having me speak.